guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and I am back with another reaction to The Runaways, or just Runaways actually. We are on episode 2 of season 1, and this one is called Rewind. Bring it on around, baby, bring it on back. So, I wonder if the show is gonna do like a bunch of like the same, like the theme of the same lettered episodes, kind of like how The Gifted has, you know, everything with the big X's in it. It'd be cool anyways if all the episodes somehow started with an R, since it's Runaways. But anyways, in episode 1, the pilot, it was called Reunion, and that's exactly what the theme of the episode was. We had this group of 6 kids who were apparently were quite close, and their parents are all part of this group called Pride. And after the death of one of them, by the name of Amy, the group just kind of fell apart. You know, the grief and the shock that it sent through their group just kind of caused them all to disperse into their own little corners and, you know, just not really stay in contact. But Alex Wilder, who is, you know, kind of, I wouldn't say the central character, but we definitely spent a lot of time on him. He just decides that, you know, he's tired of how weird everything's been between the group, and he tries to get them all back together. And they do end up getting back together for what they thought was going to be one night. And that very night, they end up discovering that not only is there a creepy secret lair underneath Alex's house, but that their parents are all down there wearing weird culty type robes, and that they are doing something with one of the girls from the home that one of their mothers runs is being put into a coffin o' light. So with this particular episode, Rewind, I'm assuming we're going to potentially have a flashback and see what maybe happened with Amy. Like, I'm kind of curious. Amy was brought up a lot, so maybe we'll see some flashbacks about her. But if not, we might even see something go further back about the parents. Who knows? Or maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. It can mean a lot of things. We're not going to find out till we watch the episode. So let's get into it, okay? Boop.
But they didn't see us.
Well, then we're getting in our car to you.
They definitely saw us. Way to go, Molly. I said sorry.
Okay, they were running so loud.
I'm gonna take this the wrong way, Wilder, but a little upper body strength might help.
Okay, buddy. Does that look like the kind of door that opens easily?
Heavier than it. Yeah, everyone, come on, push together.
Oh, somebody's gonna have to give up her secret. Or maybe not.
Let's keep moving.
Well done.
All right, you guys.
Okay, everybody, look casual.
It must have been some kind of Gaborum ceremony for a higher level than me.
They are scientists. Maybe they were just doing some cool experiment that involved stuffing a human in a box.
Look, the box kind of looked like a transporter, right? My dad is obsessed with time travel. Maybe he finally figured it out.
Right there.
I love all these theories.
And you were in jail at the time, so I say I got some credit.
New information. Daddy was in jail.
Who's calling you? I thought Dad didn't let you have friends.
None of your business. Don't you have school to go to? Kids these days.
Hey, I'm supposed to call you, remember? No.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hear your voice.
That smile is not the smile that you give to a girlfriend, okay?
Even when it's okay to ask for help.
Help?
Jesus.
Is that a joke?
No?
Who could possibly be able to help me?
You need Jesus, son.
Just under a tremendous amount of pressure. Not that that's an excuse.
No, it's not, Spike. Apologize. Again.
Listen, Frank, we had a hell of a run. There was a moment there where your poster was on the wall of every teenage girl across the whole country. A huge swath of the female population discovered the wonders of masturbation to your photo.
What's up with this show and masturbation?
Yeah, but this whole place belongs to Leslie. Jesus.
You're a kept man.
Who negotiated
Tropius.
that deal?
Her dad.
Every day, Nico pulls further away. If things don't change, we'll lose her too.
True that. Teens are a volatile time.
I suppose we can start with the padlock.
Yeah. Sorcery, padlock. Sheesh.
Okay! Sorry! We hear you, guy. There he goes. There he goes. Okay. You're a real strong man. Real strong man.
Exactly. Someone's not compensating for something.
Who's coming from?
When you we are floating on the peons, going till they take my bro and Malcolm CDC off. Prison system.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Oh, and when you call Jeffrey Wilder, tell him Darius Davis says hello.
Ooh. Jeff got some hood problems that followed him. Okay.
Nothing can jeopardize that construction site.
Understood. I got this.
Man, the women are running the show in all these relationships, huh? I like it.
I have a little girl. Today's her birthday. She's
Y'all
3.
knew that and you still?
I swore to myself that I wouldn't miss another one.
Wow.
You said you didn't have anyone.
Clean and I got dirty money. You know it. When that money talk, all I heard was
You notice anything familiar? If I'm not mistaken, that's your Nana B's house. Ooh, she made the best spice. You keep messing with me.
It's like that.
The chicken recipe's gonna be all that's left of her.
Ooh, you threatened his grandmama.
Yeah, I thought she gone soft with your yoga moms and froyo and shit. Guess you still got some.
Take the boy out of the hood, but.
See, the way I recall it, that you got to the top because of what I did for you.
What'd you do?
All you do is take.
What I do for pride, I do for the church.
What about me, Leslie?
Me. I just feel like they should have better security on something like that than just the coasters, like maybe a retinal scan or something. Oh, there's twin chambers. Interesting.
You test driving this thing today.
Purrs like a kitten.
Lies and slander.
Drink this to purify yourself.
Girl, you just take something out of a cup that a stranger gives you? So we have a finger scan on the chamber, but not one on the door. Oh, don't cry. If you actually cared, you wouldn't have done it.
She's gone.
I have an idea.
Does that involve waking Molly?
Molly's had a rough day. Cramps, you know.
Hey guys, you showed up.
Twister!
How's the meeting?
Worst cover ever.
Good, good. Just wrap.
Parents are leaving soon if you kids need rides.
Okay, bye. Totally not suspicious.
You think they saw it? If everyone's good here, I have to be in the office early.
Of course. Murder's so taxing, and I've got a brief in the morning.
Want some help with that thing?
No, you guys go on. I can back up
She
myself.
might still be in there, though, if the rat was any indication.
Dale and Stacy may have their quirks, but their biggest character flaw is that they occasionally listen to Weird Al. For pleasure.
Let me see that photo you took.
This song is just 6 words long. What you up to, bruh? Your wife catch you, you gonna be grounded. Is it gonna knock now? Knew it! She's still in there.
You shouldn't be here.
Spike's evil again, guys. He lost his soul.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
I'm gonna need you to just stay in your thing, sir. Oh, what a conveniently placed mirror.
Today's done.
Chicks are cold-hearted in this show, yo. This Tiz was an interesting episode. I like it. Rewind. Episode 2, and I see that we did rewind just to the past episode, but we got the perspective from the parents. That's just kind of the missing pieces that we didn't see in the premiere. I like how they did that. Very well done. And also some kudos to the writing team because they kept that cohesive, which is not always easy to do. But I mean, these are back-to-back episodes, so they basically just needed to, you know, make sure they wrote a big full script and kind of break it into 2 manageable pieces. Lots of information in this episode. Once again, quite a bit of exposition about more the parents, I guess, side of things and the worlds that they're dealing with. So that was really interesting. So jumping into the episode, I really love how the kids all had these like very scientific and very specific explanations as to what could be happening in the basement with their parents. It just was kind of funny. Like typically you hear things like that, it's kind of like, oh my God, freak out, freak out, freak out. But we've got each child talking about what their parents are good at. And because of that, that's why they're down there and that's what they could potentially be doing. Like, it was a funny moment, but also a little, you know, surreal in the sense of most kids would just panic if they saw a girl just disappear into some weird chamber and, you know, their parents all dressed in some weird cloaks and, you know. But the fact that they were like, no, there's a reasonable scientific explanation for all of this. Bless their hearts. I guess it's better to think the best of your parents than the other way around. But I just thought it was kind of funny that every single one of them almost had with the exception, of course, of Alex and Nico, they were just like, no, something shady was definitely going on down there. Interesting backstory about the parents. We talk about Mr. Wilder, Papa Wilder. Turns out that he was a hood man. He was apparently a kingpin in the streets before he became a real estate mogul. Apparently he was in jail. We heard that very early in the episode, and then later on when we saw that Mr. Dennis Davis, I believe it is, came in, stopped construction on whatever building that Pride's creating, and basically we're trying to extort money out of Daddy Wilder to just because he can. He said, you're building in my hood and, you know, everybody else here has to pay the hood tax, so do you. But, you know how it goes when you start with the whole blackmail thing. It usually never stops with one payment. So yeah, we got to see a different side of Daddy Wilder. You know, even though he was in that nice fresh suit and, you know, had the beard trimmed well, he got hood real quick. You know, he's like, I will mess up your life. I will go after your grandma. He said Nana. The man actually said Nana. Threatened to kill a man's grandmother. That's cold, man. Like, that's unnecessary. But we also found out that Mr. Davis was not just there. I think he might have known on some level he wasn't going to get money, but it's not what he wanted. He's smart enough to realize that, you know, obviously the blackmail thing is not a long-term thing typically. He went and had his phone cloned. So one of the guys in his crew, the little loudmouth there with the big gun, apparently must have enough smarts potentially to clone the phone, and they're gonna start tracing all of his calls. And that's smart. That's smart. If he, you know, if he can't use, you know, the past against him, which I'm assuming that most people, actually no, I don't think the people in the Pride all know exactly about all of his hood roots, because we heard Mama Wilder say, like, if they find out about the fact that you were either in the gang or the prison, I don't know which one they don't know about, possibly both. But I think that Davis realizes that if he gets something else, something massive, something that could, you know, basically destroy the life he has now, then that's what's going to be the key to him getting whatever he wants out of him. And I don't know if it's just money though. I get the sense, like he said, that you're where you are because of what I did. So we don't know what he did, but I'm assuming there's some sort of sacrifice that happened on some level. I'm assuming Daddy Wilder might have screwed him over in some way to get, you know, where he is now. And now, you know, Dennis is like, I want my cut, I want my pay. You didn't bring me up to the top with you, you just left me here in the hood. So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing folds out throughout the season. I feel like we're definitely going to see him again. I don't know if it's going to be because he finds out about Pride or something else. I also had a side thought that potentially maybe he's running the counter group, like those 2 Latino men we saw last episode trying to save Destiny. Maybe they're with him, like maybe he knows something weird's going on with the whole Church of Gaborum thing, and that's all part of it. Like maybe it's not just about money. Maybe he's just figured out something really weird is happening with all the Pride people, and he's trying to figure out like what it is so he can put a stop to it. I'd really love it if it turned out that this stereotypical thug was doing a little bit more than just, you know, extorting. I'd love it if he was actually trying to get to the bottom of whatever's happening to all these street kids, because that'd be a nice diversion from the trope of, you know, the gang banging hustler that we typically see African American males in. So Chase's mom, I think she's having an affair, and I think she's having it with Nico's dad. I said it. Mic drop. Yeah, she looked real sweet and real flirty there on the phone with whoever she was talking to after her little encounter with Chase. Clearly her and her husband are having some issues because, well, her husband's a dick. Let's just call a spade there. But, you know, it doesn't look like they have a very loving relationship. You know, she says all the things you're supposed to say as a loving, devoted wife. You know, oh, well, you know, he's brilliant, he's a good scientist, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't really see any affection between the two of them, especially compared to the other couples. I mean, we haven't seen the two of them interact outside of that one scene, but we saw with Chase's parents and Alex's parents and Nico's parents, they seem to have like a tenderness that still seems to be there. But the one group that we saw really was Chase and, you know, Chase's parents, where, you know, his dad is just all about getting this chamber of secrets to work, and he just really doesn't have time for anybody in his family. And apparently his wife has definitely been suffering the effects of not really having a present husband. So just the fact that, you know, that little interlude that, you know, she and Nico's dad had at the thing, I just, you know, the little fact that he noticed her hair and her little blush, and I just wouldn't be surprised if something's going on. Both of them are having issues with some pretty overbearing spouses, so that'll be interesting to see if there actually is that going on, and if it's not him, who? We found out that there's another chamber that is with Carolina's grandfather. That's what I'm going to assume that this is. Carolina's grandfather, Mr. Milky Skin Ash Fest there. I thought it was her. I didn't realize that the pretty boy actor was Carolina's dad. I thought that was like just a member of the church. But yes, it's her grandfather up in that chamber. Apparently the whole world thinks he's dead, but he's barely being kept alive. And whatever's going on here with these chambers, it's supposed to be doing something to apparently probably not only reverse the cancer, but potentially bring him back. And I guess they're chasing everlasting life, or at least damn near to some extent. If only they knew, if they just went over to Daredevil and found that dragon bone that was beneath the earth, they could just grab that and the elixir of forever's right there. Chase's dad and Mr. Spike, the dick, he's having a hard time. He's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do with them. I don't know what that chamber's really supposed to do. All he kept saying was that these bodies should have been gone, but whatever he's trying to do is not working. Clearly it's failed, and we've got this poor girl Destiny who's, I don't want to think about what happened to her. My only guess is that, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know. No one seemed to be, that much I will give the parents, is that none of them seemed to be keen to kill. They were willing to do it, which is still disturbing, but none of them really seemed like they were overly enthused about the idea of taking the life of this girl. So I'd like to think that Spike didn't kill her, that maybe he, I don't know, just left her somewhere, but I can't see how. Like, letting her go would expose him, because I can't see her not telling somebody about it or somehow trying to go back to the church. And it just sucks if he had to kill her after that just to prove that his machine has been working. But what's sad is that we don't know how many sacrifices they've already done up until this point, and if the machine hasn't been working any of these times, that means he's potentially killed all these people unnecessarily and for nothing, which is even creepier, but might explain why he's so just cold and distant with his family, because he's turned into a serial killer for all intents and purposes. And I just bring up the fact that in all these couples thus far, with maybe the exception of the bioengineers, they seem to be like, the women are driving the show in this, right? Like, all the guys seem to be the ones that are all like, we're not so sure if we want to do this is kind of wrong, I don't really like it. Whereas the women are just like, let's get it done, we know why we're here, we're bigger than this. I mean, I should say Chase's mom isn't really gung-ho either. She's definitely seemingly passive at the moment. But, you know, Nico's mom, Alex's mom, you know, obviously Carolina's mom, who's running this whole thing. Like, we've got some really strong women who are very, like, they're wearing the pants in their relationships and in this whole organization. And I think that's just a nice change. Because so many times when you see a group of people who are quote unquote evil or villains, almost always the men are kind of the pioneers of it all, and they just kind of have their women at the side who are either accepting but just there to give them the moral boost, or just there for fodder to just, you know, bring the children into the world. Or they're the innocent person who doesn't really know what's going on, and, you know, the one little thing that the villain's willing to protect. But here we have kind of a huge role reversal where the women are actually the ones driving it, and we've got the men kind of being, you know, the coddled party in all of this, and kind of going along with it because they just don't know what else to do, I guess, at this point. Yeah, the one character who does not have her spouse in the group is Leslie, Carolina's mother. She's the only one who does not trust her husband. Basically treats him like a big shiny movie star who doesn't know anything. He just needs to look pretty and stand over in the corner like a good little boy. I feel like he's gonna be potentially an ally for these kids going down the road. I like the idea that though of they're having at least one adult ally, because as smart and as amazing as these kids might be, they're gonna need some help with the things that teenagers just simply can't do, you know, and access to things that they're just not going to have. And I guess the only last thing I wanted to kind of comment on is Molly still not feeling safe to tell anybody about the fact that she's got these powers. I mean, at the end we saw her almost telling Gert, but I think it's interesting that she's choosing to hide it, because I mean, one of you guys in the comments, thank you very much for letting me know that this is the same universe that the X-Men exist in, and this is part of Marvel, so superpowers are a thing. It's not something that's never happened before, but again, I don't know if this means like, when we say the X-Men universe, that doesn't necessarily mean that powers are okay, right? Because we've seen, particularly in shows like The Gifted, which I react to, that there is, you know, there's a time in the mutant side of, sorry, in the X-Men world where mutants are basically persecuted, where it's not okay for you to have mutations or powers. So I don't know if that's the world we're living in right now, or if we're in the world that's leading up to a place where it's not going to be okay. But my point is, I'm just wondering why she's hiding it from Gert, because it seems like, especially in that last scene where they're in bed together and Gert's obviously comforting her, that they do feel some sense of closeness, even though they're not biological sisters. So I'm just wondering how long Molly's going to hold on to it and who she's going to expose it to first. But this was another really good episode. Really, I love the way this just fits so nicely in with the first episode. I always love when shows do this and kind of create a puzzle and then put it together in a really smart and innovative way. And I think that they knocked it out of the park with this show in this second episode. So far, so good. So if you like this video, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you click like, and if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya.